Hey guys, so funny story. I filmed this whole video yesterday, and almost none of my audio was displaying in the clips when I went to edit it. So we're here again today, and we're gonna pretend like I didn't spend almost an hour yesterday talking to my camera. And in all fairness, I guess it could have been worse. My plans changed last minute yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to just like sit around and read like I thought I was going to. I had a book order coming in that did not come in like it was supposed to. So we're just gonna redo it today. It's fine. Things happen. But today is going to be a little bit of like a reading vlog, reading update, because my last video was my April TBR. And I used my database of my owned physical TBR to pick 3 physical books off my bookshelves to read for the month of April, allowing myself 1 library book to go along with that. And once I hit that milestone, I could read whatever I wanted to. We're already off to a rocky start there. But what I did read 2 of those books so far. We're not quite at the end of April, so I will make it. The first book that I did finish was Living Dead in Dallas by Charlene Harris. It's book 2 in the Sookie Stackhouse novels, the True Blood novels. It is a paranormal romance mystery written in 2002. There's some stuff in here today that doesn't quite live up to what you would possibly read, I don't know, within the last like 5 years of the same like genre. There were some things in here that I was like, ooh, oh, okay, that was a choice. I also listened to the audiobook for part of this. I tend to do that with a lot of books. It tends to help me stay on track and not lose my place and not get distracted. So if there's an audiobook, chances are I'm listening to it as I read. So I finished that one in like a day and a half. Next thing I did was pick up Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. And I DNF'd this book, guys. How far did I make it in? I made it 60 pages in. And so that's not for me. It's just not. It's not for me. I don't know what it is about it. I read Red Rising and enjoyed it, but then the more I thought back about it, I only enjoyed the last like 2/3 of Red Rising. The lead up to it, I didn't love it. I didn't love Red Rising as much as I thought that I did. And even then, I didn't like think that I loved it. I thought I just enjoyed it. I thought I liked it. I don't. I can't tell the difference between characters for the most part. They're all very, to me personally, like very one-dimensional, the only person I know who is talking is Darrow, and that's because we're in his head, and he's insufferable. He is a terrible person to have to sit through his inner monologue. I didn't like it. I said in my last video that I would donate these out when I didn't, like, if I DNF'd them or if I didn't like it. This one I will hold on to, even though it was not a case of, oh, wrong time to be reading it. I'll give it another go. I will not be. I'm not giving this series another chance. My husband might, though. We've talked about Red Rising, and he finds it intriguing, so I'm going to hold on to him to see if he's interested in reading it. So there's that. I finished that one. We have Death Note, Another Note, the Los Angeles BB murder cases. I have not read this one yet, but it's 100 and something pages. I'll finish this probably today, if not tomorrow. But what I have been reading, actively reading, is Don't Fear the Reaper. And it's not on my TBR. And it is a library book. Once again, I said things got rocky. I said things got a little rough. The problem is I've had a hold on this for weeks, well, months. I've had a hold on this for months. And it finally came in, and I didn't want to let my hold expire. So I picked it up, and I'm reading it, and I am loving every page. I'm loving every bit of this book. Stephen Graham Jones is one of my auto-buy authors. He puts something out, I'm buying it. I'm reading it. It doesn't the man, he can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. My Heart is a Chainsaw is one of my favorite books. The Only Good Indians, one of my favorite books. The Final Girls, I believe it's like a short novella by him. Beautiful. Loved it. It's written as a like stage play. It's so good. It's so good. He is amazing. He writes gore and horror like nobody else I've ever read. And I do read a decent amount of horror. I consider myself a slasher lover. Like I love horror movies. The thing is like he writes it and it is so towing the line of being like too much, but it is so good. It is so good. I love Stephen Graham Jones. Speaking of, once again, like I said, I filmed all of this yesterday. So I had an unboxing filmed yesterday as well because I bought from Abe Books, which is a used bookstore online. I bought 3 books, and they're not off limits because I won't be rereading them. They have been read. I've actually reread them thoroughly. The first book that came in that order was My Heart is a Chainsaw. I have my own copy of it now. I don't have to continue to check it out from the library and reread and reread and reread. It's really, really beautiful. It's in great shape. So Abe Books is like a third-party bookseller, so they facilitate the purchase, and then the person that has the books ships it out. It's like Amazon buying from like a third party. I'm pretty sure Amazon might own Abe Books. It's a possibility. I'm not sure. But these were considered in good shape, and for the most part, they are. There's a few pages that I wish weren't like crinkled, but you get what you get. I didn't spend a crazy amount of money on these, so it's fine. The second one that came in though was I was very excited about. It's Hellbent. Hellbent came in. I just finished reading this and said I have to order it. It needs to sit on my shelf. The next one I have, I probably won't be unboxing because who knows when it's coming in. UPS keeps telling me it'll be here today. It'll be here today. And then tomorrow comes and they're still not here. So the one I'm just waiting on Ninth House to come in on that one. No big deal. It's kind of a gloomy day. We've been pretty busy all day during the day. My son had his first soccer game today. So we had to travel for that. So I didn't get much time to read yet. I'm hoping that as the night goes on, we calm down a little bit from the high of the soccer game and everybody just like relaxes. Hopefully I can get my reading in. We have, like I said, we have Don't Fear the Reaper. I am almost all but done. When I have it synced up to my audiobook, it's telling me I only have about 2 hours left to read on it, if that. So I'll finish this today, whether it's tonight, after my kids' bedtime or before that. So I should be able to get to Death Note Another Note tonight. And then my TBR will be complete, except for the DNF of Golden Sun. I feel a little bit like I'm failing my first month's TBR because I DNF'd a book. But I said in that video, I'm not forcing myself to read anything that I am not enjoying. I refuse to be put into a slump this early in the year. It's not going to happen. So I don't know if I should just count it as hours lost in the grand scheme of things, or if I should pick a third book off my shelf to like substitute it out. Just pick one at random, or even use my database again, pull it, and see what it gives me. I have a couple options sitting on the shelf that I would like to get to, but can't guarantee that my next month's TBR will facilitate it. So, like I said, we have Thomas that's sitting there. Burn Our Bodies Down is another one that's sitting over there that I wouldn't mind reading. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while. 56 Days, which I don't know too much about because I know it's like a murder mystery domestic thriller. And I like to go into those not knowing a whole lot of anything. So that one's an option. The Paris Apartment, that one's another one. Probably gonna end this portion of it here. I might pick back up when I finish Don't Fear the Reaper. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on it. Possibly pick up when I'm a chunk of the way through this and give you my thoughts. But other than that, like I will probably be back to talk to you guys about what my next video should be over, because I don't want to just do TBR video reading vlog. I'd like to have some other content mixed in. I'd like to get better about having a solid like upload schedule. I would love to get to the point where I am able to stream on YouTube or Instagram or even TikTok, because I do have a TikTok. I'd love to be able to stream there and do a book reading, like a book club, a book rant. Like, that would be great. I think that would be super cool. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening. Hey guys, a quick update. It is the next day and I have some reading updates. I finished Don't Fear the Reaper. It was good. I would give it probably like a 4-star. I gave My Heart is a Chainsaw 5. This is a trilogy, and I think My Heart is a Chainsaw could have been left as a standalone. Like, it was great on its own. Its ending was it was great. It could have been just fine. But they've turned this into a trilogy. So what happened in this book, I think, is a little bit of a set, like the ending of this book is a setup for the third book. I don't know what they're going to do with it, though. It did follow very much the same, like, storyboard as My Heart is a Chainsaw, where there's more than one killer. There's supernatural involved. Jade is kind of just, like, our resident badass, even though she doesn't want to be. Overall, it was good. I'm interested, curious, excited to see what the third book has in store. Hopefully we bring it back around to a 5-star. That would be great. Also, I finished Death Note, Another Note, the Los Angeles BB Murders. Really, really quick read. It was really entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I love Death Note, so no surprise here. This was great. We'll be keeping it. That book will not be getting donated. It's going to go on my Death Note shelf. So the only thing I have left to figure out is if I'm throwing another book off of my physical shelves onto this, or if I'm counting Golden Sun as a read book on my TBR, even though I DNF'd it. I might be able to find a quick one. We are towards the end of the month here, so if I can find a short enough quick read, I'll do that. I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done today. I have a pretty busy day. My week started. It's a Monday, so I have class in a couple hours. I want to get some stuff done around my house, and then my kids will be home. So we'll see how much reading I get done today. If I do pick something else up, I will be back on to update you as to what it is, where I'm at, how I feel about it. Hopefully it's not another DNF. We'll see. I'd like to find something short within like a 200-page area. I don't want to pick up a super dense fantasy right at the end of the month and try to squeeze it into a TBR. So we will see. Yeah, so I'm going to get back to doing some around the house stuff before my class starts. Hey guys, quick little update while I'm getting ready for my day. Trying to get ready for work before I have class. But I just wanted to give a quick update. I did decide to add a book from my physical shelves onto my TBR in place of Golden Sun since I DNF'd it. I picked up Beneath the Surface by John Hargrove. He's a former SeaWorld trainer. He was actually pretty boisterous during like when Blackfish came out. He was an interviewed trainer speaking out against SeaWorld. He has some really strong feelings about the way things are done there. And this is just quick, I don't know, 240-page detailing and talk about the whales that he worked with and the strife that he went through and just how he thought everything was good. He thought he was doing the best he could while at SeaWorld for the whales. And then slowly became aware of the way things just didn't feel right to him. They weren't, things weren't adding up when we unfortunately had some trainers pass away due to incidents with orcas. He was able to kind of like reflect and look back on his like 14 years, I think, of training whales. And the way that he says, once again, this is all his words, he says that the way that they tried to just kind of like sweep it under the rug and make it the trainer's problem, the trainer's fault. They didn't do what they were supposed to. That's why the whales acted the way they did. And him being a trainer for so long, knowing that that's not the case, knowing that there was aggression with the whales to begin with, he had to leave SeaWorld. He had to leave his job that he loved dearly, and he expresses the whole way through this book how much he cared for these whales and how much they meant to him. And the reason he stuck around for so long was because he felt like if he didn't, or if good trainers left, that it would just be worse for the whales. So he was describing it as being like kind of caught in a rock in a hard place when it comes to that. I thought it was a wonderful book. I read it simply as a quick read for the month and to hopefully get a book off my shelf. The whole purpose of reading my physical books is to find ones that I don't mind donating and getting rid of. And this was supposed to be one of those, and now I'm not sure that I want to donate that book. This is a book that I feel I could very much reread and just enjoy it as much the next time as I did the first time. When Blackfish came out, I was a really big fan of Blackfish. I watched it several times. It broke my heart. I thought it was done well. I thought it was done beautifully. And a lot of other things that have come out about SeaWorld since, whether true or exaggerated or whatever the case may be, the fact that people are speaking out means there's something to talk about. So that was my finished read. Like I said, now I have to sit and contemplate on whether or not this goes to the bookstore as a donate or if it stays on my shelves. And since we still have like I think like 4 days left in the month, I'm going to throw another book in. I'm picking this one up. It's Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun. Another library book because I can. I have officially finished my TBR of 3 physical books plus the library book I allowed myself. Even if we didn't count Golden Sun, 3 physical books have been read. Now, if we count Golden Sun, technically 4 physical books have been read. I read this. This will be my 3rd library book for the month because Hellbent was my first. Don't Fear the Reaper was my second. So yeah, this one will be my 3rd. And then we'll get ready to pull again from the database for May. That's crazy. So this should not take me very long. It's not a crazy long book. We're 200 and just under 300 pages, but in my experience with having read the other 2, very quick reads. They're very quick moving, fast paced. So should have no problem getting through this one probably by tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to give you some updates. I plan on reading a little bit of this while I'm at work later. If I decide to pick it up while I'm there, because I do plan on editing some of this video down so I can get it posted before the end of the month. I'm going to finish getting ready for work so that I can log into class, do class, head to work. When I pick up Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun, I will check back in when I'm, I don't know, a little bit through. These books tend to get pretty just to the point, especially now that we're done with the first one. The mystery just kind of continues to unravel, or we get into it. We know the concept of what's going on. So, yeah, so that's that. Finlay Donovan, I got just about exactly halfway through, 50% through, 156 pages, I think, last night. It's going as expected. There is a magnitude of ways that Finlay can become an accidental assassin, and it just continues to happen. So I don't know how much longer Miss El Casamano has, scenario situation-wise, of how she can make Finlay an accidental hitman. But it's going well so far. It's working for her. It's working for Finlay. The stakes aren't necessarily any higher than the last couple books that I read, the first two, because it's still the same setup. Like, Finley still is a divorced single mom. She has a romantic relationship with someone that kind of puts her at jeopardy of being caught for these accidental crimes. I think this is great. I'm really having a good time. I always have a good time with the Finley Donovan books. They're usually always rated between 4 and 5. I don't see this one going any differently. It is a little slow. It's a little dull right now because we're more rolling down like a detective mystery right now. Like they're trying to figure out who someone is to save their ass. So there's like 3 different lines of crime happening right now. And they're trying to figure out who someone is, whereas like the first Finley Donovan was more her just trying to like cover up the accidental crimes that she took part in. The second one was a little bridge into like the figuring out, like the detective, like mystery, like trying to solve something with a twist at the end or a reveal at the end. And this one seems like this is just the whole book. The whole book is is leading to a reveal. Whereas like I said, the first one was just her trying not to get caught. There was no big, like super big reveals. There was a little bit of twistiness, but it was more like character based. Like you found out things about characters that you wouldn't necessarily think was their character type. But this one is more like you're going to find out who committed a crime or who was being looked for throughout the whole book, this whole book and the half of the last book. So I think it's going great. Hopefully I can finish this today, or at least knock it out this weekend. I'll be back with some updates, depending on where I get with this. If I read much further into it or if I finish it, I'll pop on. Like I said, I'm just a slow day probably at work today because the weather's not super cooperative for the foot traffic that is needed to get to my job. So I'm probably just I'll work on some stuff here. I'll put away some books and then possibly edit this video a bit more so that I can get it posted by the end of this week. It's definitely going to be an end of the month vlog. I'll pick up my database possibly on Sunday to pull my May TBR and work on that video and make sure that's posted by the beginning of May. But then from there, we're going to really try to hit the content and we have some book vlogs, reading vlogs, book reviews, my TBR, possibly some like recommendation videos. I'd really like to just have like maybe 3 days a week being posted, not necessarily just like twice a month. That is my bad. Things just got a little busy and I wasn't able to get anything up. I also really want to make sure that I'm editing things properly and that things look nice when I put it up. I know I have a lot to learn being new at posting content, but I'd like to start out as strong as I can and only improve from there. So that's kind of where we're at. I will post an update when I have gotten a bit further into this and let you know what's going on. So I finished Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. Not last night, but the night before. It was a pretty quick read. I would say I'd probably give it like a 4-star, as I've given the other 2 Finley Donovans a 4 or 5-star. Can't really say too much about it because it is the 3rd book in a series that like ties together, overlaps. It has a running storyline. So what I can say is it does follow, for the most part, the same like structure as the first 2 on like what's laid out, how it's laid out, which is fine. It was a little duller than the first 2, I think, just because we were doing like too much while not doing a whole lot of anything, if that makes sense. Like we were looking for one person in particular. There was red herrings thrown in. There was a lot to look at, and some of it was very obvious. It's like, okay, well, that's obviously not the person we're looking for, but is it? Like, it was a little weird. The story was good, though. Like, the story was good. The ending left it up for the possibility where the fourth book in the series, which I will pick up, I will be picking that one up. It's going to be like at least partially a road trip. Like they have to go cross country, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Not like a lover necessarily of a book that has a majority of it set place in a car. Who knows? Who knows? We might have a wonderful, wonderful book on our hands with that one. But so I think with that one being read, it is like the last 2 days of the month. So I'm probably not going to grab anything to pick up. If I do, I won't be on in this vlog updating. That will carry on over into the next vlog. It's the end of the week. So I'm going to go ahead and probably wrap things up here, get this video edited and up so that we can start May. I'll have a TBR video up, probably another reading vlog, hopefully an unhaul video, maybe a haul video, a recommendations video. Like hopefully I can get a little mix of content up and call it good. So I'm going to wrap up here. If you like the video, give it a like. If you like me, subscribe. Go ahead and leave a comment down below on books that you think I would like, or books that maybe suggestions of things you think I should read so that I can review them for you.